A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing fine. Now, we all know that these politicians who claim to be in power are employed by the people, and the people, the citizens, are their bosses. Now, it is very sad to see them looting the public resources, looting the taxes that the people pay so that they can get good services. It's really sad to see a government not being transparent to the people who employed them. Now, let's watch this video, then have a quick discussion about the same. Now, there are so many things that are happening in Jamaica. So let's watch this video, then we will have a close discussion at the end of it. Thank you.
In this country, I have said it before and I will tell you again, Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
And Holness, for me, nobody could say anything about it, but what I'm seeing at me now, a PNP may have voted for.
We never come to you and fool you. I hear some people say, what is the PNP plan? The PNP plan is not to buy you a donkey, you know. That's not our plan. The PNP plan is not to offer you prosperity and you end up in poverty. That's not the PNP plan. The PNP plan is not to tell you, sleep with your doors open, and even your dog will go into the house before you. That's not the PNP plan. We believe in a Jamaica.
I'm going to show you why there's a lack of trust on this side. In 2020, the 17th of April, I was part of a team that met with the government at Jamaica House to discuss the enhanced security measures. A draft was placed on the table. I was told by the then Attorney General that it should be kept confidential. We had some issues with it. And I would have expected, Senator Campbell, that in the ordinary terms of negotiation, the government would have come back to us and said, no, we can't give up on this one. We're willing to give you something on this one to make it, more in keeping with the Constitution. But this one we require to assist us with fighting. We had another meeting in January of this year. When it was raised, the opposition was blamed for the Enhanced Security Measures Act not being taken. Why? Because we had objected to some of the clauses. And I was not going to let them pass. Because it was simply not true. Nobody said to us, come let us sit down. When the last state of emergency was declared, it was declared on the very same day that the government was aware that the judgment in O'Shea Clark was going to be handed. I personally thought that was very unfortunate. And the Prime Minister chose that morning to declare a state of emergency when it had been broadcast widely. The leader of opposition wrote to the Attorney General, who was now Derek McCoy, made some recommendations, and I will tell you quite frankly, the government was very good. We sat for hours at Jamaica House talking about it, going back and forth. And the morning, from about, I can't remember, it was about 8 o'clock, for many hours, we were on conference calls, trying to work through. The government came to the house and decided not to extend the state of emergency. And that was the last time that we heard anything from them. No, it is obvious to me how I interpret that is that this talk about cooperation is all that is talk about cooperation. The government has a right to govern. It is the role of the government to govern. I am not for a moment saying that you must involve the opposition in your governance strategy. But I'm saying if you're going to call on the opposition to support you, you don't wait until you come into the parliament and then you speak disparagingly about everybody on this side. Come tell them about their audacity and their this and their that, as though they are not human beings who feel when people are killed. I recommend to you that you quickly try to get this Enhanced Security Act, which you have been speaking about from 2019, in place. The Firearms Act was passed in a flash. The Bail Act Joint Select Committee, the Bail Act Joint Select Committee is sitting December 1st, December 6th, December 7th, December 8th. Then the whole of the next week, the Bail Act Joint Select Committee is sitting. Government demonstrates that when something is significant to them, they will make the time and they will call upon everybody to participate. I assure you, if it is within my capacity, I will go with it. Because the one thing that I can make sure that will come is how we feel about this country, Jamaica. We have pledged our support and our willingness if our assistance is needed, because it seems as though it is not, to assist in a discussion prior to coming here. So when we come here, we're not contentious and contending.
And of course, the man of the moment, and the man who will soon be the man of the moment. First of all, I want to say it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you here tonight in Moco. I'm told it is not often that the party leader of the People's National Party or the Secretary of South Africa, it's not often that the party leader of the People's National Party has come to Moco. But I'm here to show you the honor and respect that is due, because it's a great thing for Jamaica and for yourselves on the 26th of February. And they brought home this man, Roman Morris. And the beauty of it is that it wasn't just I as people who carry more. Who carry more. We know enough people who love him and support him from before. Come with him. And I say to each and every one, those who are with us for a long time, those who have come with him, we love you, we respect you, we value you, and we're glad you're here with us. We're glad you're with us. And listening to his speech tonight, I realized that to really make a change, a real asset has joined our party. You made a wonderful speech. A speech of vision, but vision anchored in practical realities. And that's the kind of representation that Jamaicans deserve. That's the kind of representation that can take the people of our power. And I know that that is what been with us for a long time, and those who recently come on board, I'm going to bring you home. And it's going to be historic because the people of this constituency deserve quality representation. Representation by somebody whose mind and heart is with the people, and who's not going to play dirty politics to undermine progress like what we heard has been happening here in this division and in this constituency. And comrades, all over Jamaica, people are calling for change. People are not satisfied with what is going on in the country. People are struggling and people are suffering. Cost of living is going up each week after week. Crime and violence problem remains heard. And the corruption and mismanagement of the people's resources turn up more than anything else. The latest thing is the tax authority, which is responsible for collecting taxes from people to finance the government's good works for the people, has been renting buildings at hundreds of millions of dollars of expense, not yet occupying those buildings. One of the two buildings is owned by a JLP MP. The other one, they refuse to say a who. But you can bet your bottom dollar that if it's not somebody who's in the government, it's somebody who's friendly or close to them. True. And that is not right. And they've spent over 400 million yet to occupy the building. They won't occupy themselves in over a year from now. So more rent to come in. And they're going to spend over $1 billion to renovate a building owned by a private sector entity, not by the people of the country. That is mismanagement. That is a misuse of the people's resources. So many things could have been done for the people of this country with that money. When I say picking them over by trying to get home from school and we don't come down and there's no bridge. For years now, no bridge. And they have to risk their lives to cross that river. When I see the state of the public hospitals and people coming in and needing medical attention, need to be admitted in hospital because they're sick and they can't get a bed. And they have to be in a corridor, on a bench, on the floor, on a piece of plywood, or on a wheelchair for days and days. Suffering in pain, not able to get the treatment they need. It is not right, people. When I say the education system, we're over 30% of the youth leaving primary school can't read and write, can't do basic arithmetic, entering high school. The 16 in high school assume they have the basics already, but they don't have it. Enough of those youths end up getting nothing out of school, even though their parents sacrifice to send them to school. And when they leave school, their options are limited. And many of them go the wrong way and create the mayhem in a society that is sucking the hope of the people and making so many Jamaicans want to leave the country. When we see the small farmers struggling with the high fertilizer prices, the poor farm roads, the lack of storage facilities, they need a government with a proper plan for agriculture. And you've heard some of the priorities of the next minister of agriculture tonight. Comrades, I never came into politics to enrich myself or to enrich any friend and company. I came into politics to serve the people of Jamaica. And I intend to do that honestly and with integrity and to ensure that the resources of the people are spent only for and on behalf of.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing fine now. We know the corruption is the backbone of every failure of each country or of every country. Now, any country that involves itself in these scandals, in this embezzlement of public resources, will not even make an economic move. Now, this is not according to me. Now, statistics have it that the most corrupt countries in the world are the most richest countries in the world. They have all the resources, they have all the taxes from the people. But what happens, some of that money that people pay is pocketed by a few individuals in the government. Now, we all have seen the scandals going around in the governments in the Caribbean, in the governments in Africa. These are the most dominated countries. And there is this video of a Brazilian politician who was hanged because of corruption. Now, I don't want our countries to get to that point where we start hanging our own people because of corruption. Now, we all know that our black countries have enough resources to be in the first world-class countries. But what happens? Why are we still in third world countries? Why do they trash our countries like nothing? Because we have a few leaders who think that the taxes we pay belong to them. Because we have elected leaders who take everything. They go around looting everything. Now, we should have responsible leaders, accountable leaders who will come to the table and say, this is how we are using the money we get, the taxes we get from the people. That money is not theirs. That money belongs to the people. And the people have the right to know how their money is being used. Because the taxes the people pay, they pay to get good services from the government. The government is not superior than the people, because if the people were not there, the government will have never existed. So it is good when a country is accountable to its own people. It is good when Jamaican government comes out and be accountable to its own people. Now, there have been so many scandals. Now, we had this housing scandal in Nigeria, in Jamaica, I mean. So many people were involved. Now, we had this scandal that involved the Prime Minister. Why do you have to investigate someone for 2 years or 3 years until they're out of power? It is good when our leaders take accountability. I'm not here to praise anyone, because almost all these politicians are rotten to the core. Just a few are good. Now, if you come to Africa, it's almost all countries are rotten. The leaders in those countries are rotten with corruption. We just see some few countries like Burkina Faso and Senegal which are doing good on how to fight corruption. Then we had this Tanzanian president who died. He was really best in fighting corruption. But in my country, Kenya, it's another thing. In Africa, it's just a mess. The leaders we elect move in big cars, while the people languish in poverty. The taxes are so high, the services so poor. It is the same thing happening in the Caribbean. However much we might try denying this, but it's really happening. It is high time we open our eyes and stop defending those failed leaders we have. Let's talk the truth, because we mostly do not like the truth. The truth will ever and ever save us. The truth will make us free. Let's tell them the truth. The money they spent badly, the man they spent flamboyantly, belongs to the people, and they are responsible to be answerable to the people. The people have the mandate. It is the people who have the power to elect and reject. So the people should be respected. Accountability comes back to the people. If you are really employed to your boss, you must be accountable to that boss. And in this case, the bosses are the people, not the politicians. The politicians are the employees. They are employed by the people. In this case, they must be answerable to the people. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, if you find it good, please consider subscribing. I love you, one love. Let's make our countries work. Thank you so much.